All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show. The Niners have drafted again in round 3, pick number 100. We'll talk about who it is, who they chose, and what it all means coming up next. First, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon and Mary, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. And this video is also brought to you by Claw Daddy Arcades. That's right, Claw Daddy Arcades. They got 3 locations in Southern California, plus spots in Fresno and Modesto, and a new location coming soon to the Bay Area. Claw Daddy Arcades is bringing family-friendly fun to communities across California. Follow him on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades. And find a location near you. And when you stop by, tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Niners pick at number 100. It's Upton Stout from the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Dane Brugler's 21st corner in his draft guide. He's a kid from Houston, Texas, who went to North Shore High School. He's 23. He's small. He's 5'8", 181 pounds. And, really kind of an interesting pick here. He went to, as I said, North Shore High School in Harris County, Texas. And he was good in high school, 3-star recruit, 148th ranked safety in the 2020 recruiting class, number 267 recruit in the state of Texas. So he helped North Shore to a state title as a junior, and then he picked up his first scholarship offer from Utah State. And over the next few months, he got offers from Louisiana Monroe, New Mexico, South Alabama, Texas San Antonio, Wyoming, bunch of FBS schools. And he committed to Utah State. And then late in his senior season, he flipped to North Texas. And he was the 9th ranked recruit in the Mean Greens 2020 class. So he started off at North Texas. After 2 seasons in the program, he transferred. He entered the transfer portal in November of 2021. His best option was Montana State until Western Kentucky entered the mix, and immediately he jumped to Western Kentucky. So he had a standout 2023 season. He entered the transfer portal again. He looked to capitalize on some NIL opportunities to help his family. He got offers from Ole Miss, from Michigan, from SC, from Cincinnati, Houston, Pittsburgh, Vatech, West Virginia. His decision came down to Michigan or returning to Western Kentucky. And, I guess it was an easy decision once Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter left to go to the Chargers. He stayed at Western Kentucky, and he graduated with a degree from Western Kentucky. He opted out of Western Kentucky's bowl game and accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. So he played college ball for 5 years, I should say, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. He had 4 interceptions in 2022, 6 in his career. So North Texas to Western Kentucky, 5'8", 181 pounds, 30-inch arms, 4.44 in the 40, 1.56 on the 10-yard split. Great vertical, 37.5-inch vert. That's good. That's a good number for sure. And very strong for a little guy, 21 reps of 225. For a 5'8" corner, I mean, that's good. That's really good. Brugler describes him this way. He says, fluid body movements, controlled footwork and man-to-man. He's got enough speed to stay in phase when carrying crossers or getting vertical. 19.47 miles per hour during the gauntlet at the combine. It was the fastest among all the defensive backs at the combine. He's physical. He's sudden in click and close, sniffs out the screen game well, makes stops at or behind the line of scrimmage, plays bigger than his size suggests as a breakdown tackler, smaller frame player, but has decent wingspan to finish wrap tackles. So, interesting player. I've heard people say maybe he is kind of like a K'Wan Williams. Competitive play style, they say jumps off the tape. Played on kick return coverage and punt return coverage so he can help from special teams. Led all defensive backs at the combine with 21 reps. Now that's pretty good. Strongest defensive back at the combine with 21 reps. He's got experience lining up both inside and outside. As far as his weaknesses, obviously the size, right? He's short. He's got a lean frame. He's definitely below the height weight thresholds for several teams. A lot of teams, if you're not a 5'9" corner, take you off the board. He's under 5'9". Doesn't have elite recovery speed. More pesky than powerful. Not a deterrent on fades or downfield throws. High ball location exploits his lack of size. Gets a little handsy and wraps his arms around receivers. Was flagged for defensive holding on the 2024 Alabama and Toledo games, in both those games. Tough to find ball production on his 2024 tape. He'll get stuck on blocks near the line of scrimmage. Missed 6 games as a junior because of the shoulder injury. 3-year starter, though. 3-year starter at Western Kentucky, not lined up in the nickel cornerback spot in defensive coordinator Tyson Summers' scheme. Played primarily on the outside his first 4 years. Moved inside for his senior year and raised his NFL profile. His ball production fell off in 2024, but he didn't see nearly as many targets. And this is kind of what happens when you are a big-time player going to the NFL at a smaller school. Because I'm sure Western Kentucky's other corner probably wasn't as good. So you just said, hey, you know what? This guy Stout's going to the NFL. Stay away from Stout. Oh, okay, we'll just throw it the other side. And so he didn't see as many targets, and thus the ball production falls off. So it's a little deceptive. In coverage, he's got a balanced back pedal and good footwork to cleanly mirror and stay attached to different types of route runners. He's got an aggressive nature, gives him a noticeable swagger against both the pass and the run. Probably the K'Wan Williams comps are probably pretty accurate. Prefers to play press man. That he likes press man more than off man because he wants in on the action. The aggressiveness occasionally leads to penalties. Overall, his lack of height shows up versus size in pass coverage, but so does his competitive urgency and controlled movements in all areas of the position. He projects as a slot corner who can be a role player similar to Avonte Maddox. They projected him in the 5th round. This is the one thing I will say about the 49ers. Every single player that they've drafted was projected to go lower than they drafted him. Where have you noticed that the Ravens keep taking Mike Green, Malachi Starks, all the guys they always take always seem to be projected higher, and they get this great value. The Niners, they're taking guys in the 3rd round that are projected in the 5th. So I really love the Nick Martin pick. I don't dislike this guy because I think this is a strong corner who can help. But I mean, look at the other corners that are still on the board. That would be my first thought. Just looking at this, who's out there cornerback wise, that's still there. There's some pretty good corners that are still on the board. So, Quincy Riley from Louisville, 5'11" corner, still there. Zoff Frazier, who the Niners met with from Texas San Antonio, big corner with 4.37 speed. He's still there. Dorian Strong, big press man corner. Vatek, still there. Zy Alexander, big corner from LSU, still there. Denzel Burke, confident corner with a great first step from Ohio State. He's there. Kobe Bryant. I had Kobe Bryant in a 7th round mock the other day. People are like, he's not going in the 7th round. Really? We'll see about that. He might be going in the 7th round. He's still there. Bilal Kone is still there. So there's a lot of good corners there. So they obviously liked Upton Stout, and I've heard him comped to, that he's tough and physical and will challenge people. And I've heard a lot of good things about him, that he's really a tough player and loves to stick his head in there and fight. So maybe, don't let the small size fool you. 5'8", 181. They think he's a tough guy who might be able to play against the run. So there you go. Upton Stout, the corner for Western Kentucky. I'm just kind of impressed that with all those options to transfer, he stayed at Western Kentucky. That shows good loyalty to the Hilltoppers. And then when you look at that, the 1.56 10-yard split's a good number. The 4.44 is a good number. The 21 reps is a great number. 19.4% of miles per hour during the gauntlet, fastest of any DB from the combine. There you go. Special teams experience, led all DBs with 21 reps on the bench. Very strong. I kind of like this one. I think overall pretty good. The Niners needed a corner. Obviously, they like this guy. There were some better, more highly rated corners with bigger size on the board, and they wanted this small corner from Western Kentucky. Let's bring in Kev and see what he has to say. Kev, what do you think? Do you like Upton Stout at pick number 100, or was it a reach?
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I sat here and said that I was expecting an Upton Scout selection in the third round.
Upton Stout?
Or Upton Stout. Sorry, misspoke. Yeah, no, I mean, didn't watch a ton of this guy before the draft, but just kind of diving into him more right now. I can see it. He's a ball of muscle. Seems like for a guy who's 5'8", 5'9", 180 pounds, he has a little pop to him. Some interesting things I dug up. One, per PFF,
he was a fast riser. By the way, was a fast riser. He had jumped on the Draft Tech board by 70 spots. So obviously he's but go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. Interesting stuff. Just digging up after they drafted him, he had a 90.9 run defense grade, which is like near 90th percentile for corners. For a guy who's 5'9", 5'8", that's pretty good. He had above 75th percentile coverage grade. He did have a really low missed tackle rate. So I saw someone compare him to Malik Mustafa, like not a Niners content creator, like a website, like directly said that his player comp is Malik Mustafa. Obviously, he's not really the same player, but he is kind of like a hybrid nickel safety player. It kind of seems like. I'm not sure how he's going to hold up in coverage, because from what I'm reading and what I've seen, he's not like some elite coverage defender, but he seems like he's like I said, a ball of muscle. Another interesting thing, digging this up real quick, his numbers at the NFL Combine, like NFL Next Gen Stats is at the NFL Combine, so they have like a tracker on all these guys, so they can actually track their speeds. And the DB box drill, his top speed was 17.52 miles per hour, which was the fastest among all corners. And this database I'm looking at, this is per James Foster, who we had on the show. His database, that's the fastest time ever. Or this is per NFL Next Gen Stats. It's 100th percentile. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's one of one. So that's very interesting that he tested out really well. He also tested out really well in a bunch of other drills. So interesting athlete, like must be very quick, changing directions, has some strength in I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this guy. Wasn't really anticipating this pick here. Like you said, I'm not really sure if that guy's going to be off the board on the next pick. So I wasn't really anticipating a Stout pick right here.
Upton Stout. Well, let's take a look at some of his highlights for Western Kentucky. Fiery guy for sure. And the nice thing is this guy could start. This guy could start for the Niners. They need a nickel. They need an outside corner. If Lenore's going to play the nickel, they need a pick there. Here he is on the line of scrimmage. Looks like he's going to blitz. He's coming. The quarterback's getting out of there. He gets him down. Okay. He's wearing number 21. He's wearing Dion's number. Good number for a corner. Here he is walking up on the line of scrimmage, attacks the ball carrier, sees it, throws him down. Solo tackle. It's nice from the corner here, like that. Here he is playing press man. Now he's coming. Or he's showing that, yep, he's coming. They're going to end around, and he wraps him up. Okay, good tackle there.
He looks. Yeah, I mean, hey, when Saleh came to this team, Kyle must have told him, hey, this is all about you now, because they've got 4 defensive picks in a row, and all of them very unique. Very unique.
You know what? If there was a trend, it's a lot late. Like, I like Riley Leonard. I like Willie Lampkin. I like day 3 running backs. I like day 3 receivers. I like some of these developmental tight ends. You know what I mean? It's like
when I saw the North Dakota State, what's his name?
Zabel.
I was like, there's just no way. Like they're not going to go offensive line. I could have seen maybe one of these picks being an offensive lineman, but their defense needs the help. But Stout, like some of the traits, but again, very interesting pick in the 3rd round. I hope he shocks us all. Just a little undersized.
Let's see what the people have to say. Let's go to the chat. Harold McAllister, good player, but one hell of a reach. Thank you for the deuce. Jake Puopolo, no problem with the picks, but they don't know how to get value. They're missing out on a ton of talent. Seems to be a common theme with this regime. I don't know if they're missing out on value, but they definitely seem like they're, instead of playing the draft as it comes to them, they're kind of trying to make it happen. Yeah. Trying to kind of make it happen on their own.
They had their plan. They had their
players. Yeah. And it's I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have gone, maybe they were going after Charles Grant. The Raiders took him right in front of them because they did talk about him. Brett Walden, new member. Always give a little clap for the new members. Thank you, Brett. Welcome aboard. Carlo,
I'm gonna have to chew on this one. I know we're going through super chats, but I'm gonna have to chew on this one because I just don't know how I feel about this player. Like it's in one way, like I see the upside, I see the strength, like being small and physical and feisty. Like I like it, but something about him right now is just I need to watch him more before I can really say anything on him. I don't know, something about him like worries me.
Stout,
like his
he's a small corner. I mean, anytime you're talking about smallish players, but supposedly he's tough. I will say this: they're definitely liking, these guys that are really small but strong, because the last 2 picks were guys who were small but strong. Shedeur Sanders did not go, by the way. Jalen Royals did not go today. Very surprising. Carlos is crazy that they keep ignoring the O-line. Will they draft Pooney's college teammate Logan Brown? Who should we get at 13? We need an O lineman for sure. Who 13? What's 13? Oh, 113. Is that their next pick? 113. Okay, so let's take a look at the offensive tackle board. Now,
let's look at it. Let's look at the whole
Membu, Campbell, Banks, Simmons, Connerly, Ursary, Belton, Trapilo all went today. And Emory Jones did as well. Now, there are some jumbo day 3 tackles. Holland Pierce, huge. Jalen Travis, monstrous. Carson Vincent, 6'7". The guy the Raiders just took was Caleb Rogers. That may have been the Niners guy. He was an incredibly mobile lineman who was considered to be a swing tackle. If the Niners really do feel like all they need is a swing tackle, they might be able to do this in round 7 with Miles Hinton, with Caleb Etienne, with Esapole. All those guys, I think, would be interesting. Jordan Williams, they've talked to him as well. So they might be able to find that tackle, in the 7th round, as far as a developmental swing tackle, really. At this point, I would just play best available. I'd play best available the rest of the draft if I were the 49ers. You got 2 4s, you got 2 5s, and you got 3 7s. You got a lot of picks. You got 7 day 3 picks. Lynch says he doesn't want to trade more, but he may trade up. Why trade up? Unless there's just some guy you got to have. I don't necessarily.
It feels like, not to go on a side tangent, but it feels like, just the way I'm thinking about this now, like it feels like the Niners are drafting for they're not just drafting, like they're not evaluating every prospect. In my mind, it feels like they're not evaluating every prospect like standalone. It feels like they're filling a very specific player that they want. Like we want a player that does exactly this, and like we're gonna get that player. That's what it kind of feels like. It feels like this is a corner where it's like he does exactly this. He's a really feisty corner that plays the nickel and is short and like strong. Like we want that player. And like Nick Martin, we want this guy who's even though he's small, like we want a fast linebacker who plays like this, instead of looking at the entire board and being like, who's the best available prospect that we can get right now? That's just
look at their needs on defense. Trey Brown's their starting corner. They don't like that. That's why they drafted a corner. D Winters is their starting linebacker next to Fred. They don't like that. That's why they drafted Nick Martin. They don't, their edge rusher opposite Bosa is Yatir Gross-Matos. They don't like that. That's why they went with Michael Williams. They have no defensive tackles. That's why they went with Collins. So, I mean, they're trying to fill holes on the defensive side of the ball. Personally, I love the Martin pick the most. The other picks, we'll see. We'll see. I love the linebacker pick the most of all of the picks that they've made that I've seen thus far. I think that's the one I like the most. SRT says, would have preferred Kyle take an annual running back here. Don't understand this pick. Yeah, they could have taken Dylan Sampson, and instead they took Upton Stout. I mean, that was surprising. You could have had DJ Giddens. You could have had a starting caliber running back. But there's a lot of good running backs. I love Taj Brooks. I love Kyle Monangi. They're both there on day 3. Silent in the house says, no wide receiver taken makes me think Ayuk will be okay. It did come out that they're not going to move Ayuk, but I think Ayuk had a major injury. He's going to be out a while, I would say. Bill M says the Raiders took Charles Grant before us. He was ours. Maybe. That's possible. I was thinking the same thing. And Andre Garibay, we need to address the defense, and they did. Can't get pissed and call every pick a reach. Will Kyle get some skilled players on day 3? Scattaboo, tight end. Yeah, Scattaboo was there as well. I mean, Scattaboo, I think I'd rather have other backs than Scattaboo, but Scattaboo is there, and he's a good player. I don't know. I mean, if you want to take one player that was rated lower that you had a higher grade on, but every single player that the Niners have taken has been, thought to be going 2 rounds later than they took him. So I don't get too caught up in that because it's, you can mind screw yourself right out of a good player. But it is notable that they haven't had anybody yet fall to them where they're just like, oh yeah, we didn't expect that guy to be there. We had a 3rd round grade on him and he was there in when we picked. It's like almost all of their guys have had lower round ratings and they've taken them earlier.
Yeah. And I don't even want to get into all this because it's like, what are we even talking about? But there's some, the rankings like, I had him as the 12th best and he was the 17th. Like, who cares? That doesn't really matter. But there's something here, like a 2nd round. You don't see a lot of, 3rd round players that are projected to go in the 7th round get drafted or stuff like that. I know that's not what happened, but there's some value to where they're projected to go that I'm sure and other NFL teams share. Now, I don't think this guy's going to be necessarily going to, suck or anything. And I hope he doesn't. I'm going to have to watch him more, but just a little short guy. I think the thing that excites me the most about him is just the speed, the potential speed that he has, and just the strength. Like how many small corners like that are, I guess when you have shorter arms, you can throw up some weight on the bench press, but that's pretty ridiculous. This guy's a ball of muscle. So I appreciate, I don't know how to feel about this yet, to be honest. I think you're muted.
You want to go winners, losers?
Yeah. Or when I know we have one more stream tonight with Dieter and Hutch. When are we doing that?
At 9, in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes. Okay. 10 minutes from now, me, Dieter, and Hutch will do a live stream. And Kev, you're more than welcome to jump in if you want. But that's coming up on the Krueger show. Do you have a big winner before we get out of here? Who was your big winner?
I wasn't able to review all the classes, but I will say that the Eagles got pretty scary. The Eagles got pretty scary.
Okay, yeah. I can call it up here.
Where?
The Eagles went with Jihad Campbell, and then they got They got Makuba, and is that it?
I like that for their defense a lot.
They also traded back. So they traded back. They have 2 4s and 3 5s and a 6.
Baltimore getting Malachi Starks, Mike Green, and Emory Jones is
Baltimore.
Pretty nasty trio right there.
I thought Denver. Look at Denver, man. Denver went Jedi Barron, best corner in the draft. R.J. Harvey, my favorite running back in the draft. Pat Bryant, I don't really like, but they got Savion Jones. I thought Denver had a very good draft so far.
R.J. Harvey was one of my favorite backs. I thought he was super sleeper.
I thought Green Bay, too. Green Bay got Matthew Golden, Savion Williams, and Anthony Belton.
I mean, what do you think about this? What do you think about the Shedeur thing? Because it's starting to get ridiculous. Like Dylan Gabriel's getting drafted in front of him. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I'm not even. I'm not.
Shedeur stinks. I mean, I saw Shedeur play late in the year, and I thought he's garbage. He's not good at all. And I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea why Shedeur thought he was so good. I don't know why Dion thought he was so good. I don't know why anybody thought he was so good. Mel Kiper is the draft where Mel Kiper got exposed. I mean, Mel Kiper, you're comparing Shedeur Sanders to Joe Montana? Bro, time to retire. Time to hang it up. I mean, seriously, time to hang it up. And when you're saying Shedeur Sanders is Joe Montana, it's time for you to go. All right? Because you have no idea what you're talking about. None. Shedeur Sanders stinks. He has no arm strength. He has no accuracy. There's all of his high percentage completion percentage stuff are just little dump offs underneath. If you watch the film, he didn't have a good line, but he had the best receiver there was in Travis Hunter. He plays backyard ball at best. There's no consistency quarter to quarter, game to game. He cannot make plays from the pocket. He does not throw the ball to the deep hash. He can't flick it out there. People are talking Brock Purdy's a dink and dunk guy. This is your dink and dunk guy. This guy's got no arm, no mobility, no size. I mean, what?
He's just famous.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'd much rather have Kyle McCord. I'd much rather have Tyler Shuck. I'd much rather have Jalen Milroe. I'd much rather have Jackson Dart. I'd much rather have Riley Leonard. I'd much rather have guys that are probably even not going to be drafted. Shedeur Sanders is so dramatically overrated. And I hope for him, I hope he goes to like a really great organization like Pittsburgh. So he's got a shot because he needs a lot of help. He's not going to be able to elevate the whole thing by himself. He doesn't have good enough arm strength or mobility or accuracy. So
I was cracking up because I was listening to Mel talk about Shedeur. And he's like, he didn't have very much help. I'm like, doesn't he have the best wide receiver in the entire draft class? Like, what are we talking about, man?
Dude,
like,
what are you talking about?
What kind of take is that? Like, he doesn't have any help. I get it. His offensive line isn't that great, but it's like, dude, you're throwing to the best wide receiver in the class. You can't cry me a river and tell me that he doesn't have enough help. Like, no. Sorry, man.
I don't like Sand says Stout has given up 0 touchdowns and over 400 coverage snaps. That's pretty big. Thank you. That. I don't like Sand, which is a great handle, by the way. I don't like Sand.
That's not true.
That's what he said. He's given up 0 touchdowns and over 400 coverage.
According to PF, he's given up 5 touchdowns.
Come on, Sand. Lou Daka says feels like they're trying to get too cute, Larry.
Maybe in the last 4. Maybe he's saying in the last 400 coverage snaps. Interesting.
That right there. Hey, 400 coverage snaps is a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, because he gave up 1 touchdown in week 1 against Alabama. And then since then hasn't given up a touchdown.
Silent said Sanders found out a mid-talent can't have a circus. Yeah, exactly. You're totally mediocre, Mike. You can't have an entourage. You can't have a circus of guys. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Good video. We're gonna move aside. We're gonna do a live stream with Jake Hutchinson and Dieter Kurtenbach, and we got one more super from Claw Daddy Arcades. The sponsor of this video is Claw Daddy Arcades. He says, I've been more excited in some of the 49er mocks you guys have done than the actual draft itself. Yeah, because in the mocks, you can just trade back at will and you get 5 second-round picks and you just draft all kinds of guys and everybody's there. Kenneth Grant goes 50. I mean, think about those mocks, Claudetti. You had Walter Nolan and Kenneth Grant going in the 40s. I mean, I literally said as soon as I saw that, this sucks because this mock is now screwed up because I knew those guys were going in the first round and they went in the first half of the first round. And instead, the mocks had them going 55, 48. It's like, dude, no.
I'm excited for Stout. I think Stout, to me, last take here before we wrap up.
Okay.
No, I think he's the most volatile, I think. I think he could either be really, really, really good and just a diamond in the rough, or he's just going to be completely terrible. That's how I feel about him. Just his size combination, like he's awesome, or he's just going to be, it's going to be too much for him in the NFL.
I'm eager to see Alfred Collins and the disposition that he has. Is he a big, tough, angry defensive lineman, or is he kind of like a big marshmallow, happy-go-lucky kind of a guy?
I think he's good.
That one I'm a little concerned about, but he's got huge size.
I like the first two picks. I like Collins. I like McKell. I think that's going to solidify your run defense. They're big. They're strong, athletic. They're monsters. I think they're monsters.
4 picks, all on defense. All right, let's do this. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueger Show. Thanks to our good friends at Clawdaddy Arcades. The links are in the description below. We're going live momentarily with myself and Dieter and Jake Hutchinson. We'll have our live stream. I'm eager to see what they think of the picks. I'll tell you again what I think of the picks. We'll argue. We'll yell at each other. It will be very, very very profitable in every way. Kev, you got a final thought before I pull the ripcord and call it a night?
Check out the socials. I'm putting out a social media post on every single one of these draft prospects. It's basically your take on the player in less than 60 seconds, cut up with some film in it. So check it out. I'm posting on all the socials.
Sounds good. Thanks to everybody. Check the links. They're in the descriptions for all the sponsors. Join us on the live stream coming up here just moments away. And thanks for supporting the Krueger Show on YouTube.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of.